Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapters to come out to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends and your enemies, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, I review the 10 cheapest 3-row SUVs to buy in the USA, brand new if you feel so inclined. Now, this brought to us thanks to Motor1.com, specifically Chris Tasui, who is a writer over there. And I should give you a visual disclaimer. They're mostly very visually disgusting beyond all belief because they're 3-row SUVs. But without too much further ado, again, credit to Chris at Motor1.com. They say, quote, 10 cheapest 3-row SUVs to buy in 2026. I don't think he's joking. He says, from the handsome Hyundai Palisade to the Ford Explorer, these are the cheapest 3-row SUVs you'll be able to buy in 2026. Spoiler, I don't recommend most of them. The first one is, actually, let me pull up Chris's summary here really quick. It says, so you need a new car with seats everywhere from 6 to 8 people for whatever reason. The 3-row SUV is the way to go. Despite transaction prices being higher and higher than we've ever seen, they're still that still will meet your budget. Here are the top ones to start, still around about $40,000. He says number 10 is the Hyundai Palisade at $41,035, which I would say gets an F- from a visual appeal. It looks like a bastardized Tron vehicle. I don't know. They say, kicking it off with a starting price of $41,035, including destination, 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Entering the second generation, Hyundai's ball on a budget 3-row SUV, rocking a whole new look, even more tech than before. Great things that can break in a hybrid variant. They say the $41,000 base price gets you the V6 gas model, which would be the most reliable one. I highly recommend going that route. If you want to buy a hybrid, which again, the batteries will depreciate like a Mercedes, that costs $8,085 more. So you get better fuel economy in short term. So he says, yeah, that's number 10. Number 9, looks slightly better. Volkswagen Atlas, which I'm pretty sure you could probably get that discounted by 50%. I think they sell 3 per year. I'm only partially kidding. I know one person who has this. But nevertheless, again, the Volkswagen Atlas starts at $40,785. They say it's just a few $100 more than the Palisade, earning its 9th place on our list. VW's 3-row SUV starts at, again, $47,885 for the base SC, and it's the oldest car here. It's received 2 facelifts since its debut, but at its core, the car has been around since 2017. When we drove back in 2021, the nicest thing we could say about it was there's nothing glaringly wrong about it. And maybe that is my own bias showing, but buying a big family car from VW, a brand historically known for plucky small cars like Golf and Beetle, always felt like ordering pizza from a steakhouse. You could, and they'll make it for you, but why? Which, yeah, I could understand his perspective, kind of be more of a purist and a sports car fan. Same thing with Porsche, which again is owned by Volkswagen Auto Group under that umbrella. Porsche is known for the iconic 911, obviously. They have an SUV which actually had stick shift at one point, which is kind of really cool, rare, and unique. I wouldn't mind getting one of those if I had to get an SUV. But yeah, for a Volkswagen, there's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't look too bad. It's got a nice little red paint job there. Obviously, it's an automatic transmission, so trash. Now, you also have number 8, the Mazda CX-90, which looks as bland as the average Mazda. You know me, the only Mazda worth buying is the Miata. Great fun sports car, has 3 pedals, 4 cylinders of glory. Can't go wrong. With the SUV, I don't know, it starts at $40,330. Now they say, quote, splash $40,330 on a 2026 Mazda CX-90, and you'll likely have much better time. First introduced a couple years ago as a CX-9 replacement, Mazda's 3-row SUV comes standard with a mild hybrid, turbocharged 3 point, I was being too enthusiastic. It's not 6.3 liters, a 3.3 liter straight 6 powertrain, which, a straight 6 is great in a BMW. That's kind of where it belongs, at least to me. They say there's a more expensive plug-in hybrid version that'll save on fuel. You know my thoughts about hybrids, but that increases the price quite a bit. They say CX-90 is proof that drivers can come in many forms. This is likely one of the most fun vehicles to drive, which it's an SUV, it's a low bar, so I suppose maybe. Now, this probably won't be the next one is probably one that I'd avoid the most because it has a blue oval of death, also known as the Ford logo. It's the Ford Explorer, which that's not only will depreciate like a rock. I mean, a Ford vehicle is great if you have a great relationship with your Ford technician and you like seeing the Ford dealerships. There's some great people that work there. I mean, by now they're probably your friend if you own a Ford vehicle because they've had 138 recalls this year thus far, and there's still time for them to get even more before the year rounds up. Now, again, this Ford Explorer will cost you $40,160. And he says, quote, the last car here to start at $40,000 is the 2026 Ford Explorer and the 7th cheapest 3-row SUV you can get right now. A base active 100A model can be had for $40,160 after freight. This generation of Explorer debuted in 2019 with a refresh in 2025 and a new front end and bigger screens inside. The standard engine is a 2.3-liter EcoBoost Turbo 4. Jeez Louise. Again, a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine is great for a Honda Civic Si. I love my 4-banger. An SUV, I don't know, to me, it's got to have at least 6. Now, they do say you can get a twin-turbo 3-liter V6, but that comes at the $55,000 ST model, which, true deceptive advertising, the coolest car you see. Yeah, starts at, $40,000 as configured on that screen right there. You can see the ST little logo. Yeah, that's $55,000 for a Ford SUV, which, I mean, you're debatably that's slightly better than taking your money during winter, pouring some gasoline on it, and lighting it on fire for some temporary warmth. Debatably, is slightly better use of your money to buy this vehicle, I suppose. Now, another unreliable piece of trash, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or as I call it, the Elizabeth Warren Special. It starts at $38,830 for, your Stellantis-owned Jeep SUV. The only Jeep worth buying, I think, is the Wrangler. Also kind of biased because that comes with the fun stick-shift option. And even those, geez Louise, are as unreliable as a Ford. But nevertheless, they say, quote, available for under $40,000, the 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee L starts at $38,380 for the base Laredo 4x2. We should note that Jeep gave this SUV a refresh in 2026, but has not yet announced pricing for that, which, again, it's not just their fault. They'll probably increase it due to inflation. I understand that's a thing as well. It's a power comes with a 3.6 Pentastar V6, 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. Engine carries over from next year's base Laredo. The big update is the available Hurricane twin turbo, making 324 horsepower. Yeah, the Hurricane straight 6 engine is trash. Talk to any Jeep, Dodge dealership. And yeah, Stellantis is putting that engine in everything, which that's not unique to them. Most major manufacturers will do that. But yeah, they're having issues with that straight 6 turbo engine. So I would say stay the hell away from that. Number 5 is the Kia Telluride, which has a funny name. It starts at $37,885. They say coincidentally, the 2025 Kia Telluride is about to find itself a similar position with the Jeep, ringing in at right under $38,000 for the base LX, the 5th cheapest 3-row SUV here. However, a redesigned next-gen version recently debuted. Just like the Hyundai Palisade Platform Twin, the 2027 Telluride is available with a 4-cylinder hybrid. Ugh. Jeez Louise. While also offering a big luxury XUV for decidedly normie SUV price. You talk yourself to this deal if you so choose. They say it's a great bang for your buck, which, to Kia and Hyundai's credit, same company, they do have the best powertrain warranty. I believe it's still 10 years and 100,000 miles. That's phenomenal. So again, that is so boring because it's an automatic transmission. But that's one of the few semblances, and again, the qualities come a lot more. The opposite of that is the Nissan, which, at least Nissans do have BAE energy, I suppose. Yeah, the Nissan Pathfinder at $37,790, which I would argue is one decimal place too much. Like for under $4,000, I'd buy that. Actually, no, I'd probably not even at that price. But nevertheless, you have the Nissan Pathfinder. They say precisely $95 less than Telluride. You can get the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder, which, yeah, right. Yeah. $95. I would spend $1,000 more just to not own a Nissan right now. They're so unreliable. Maybe the 400Z, that'd be a fun car, twin turbo with the stick shift. I'd get that, but even then, I know is a risk that I won't get to work. Now, they say again, the Pathfinder was an all new for 2021, but dates continuing the powertrain exclusively by naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6, which that's pretty nice. Get a naturally aspirated engine in there. I have the Hyundai Santa Fe at $36,400, which, again, with that warranty from the factory, is pretty good. They say the first SUV dipping into the mid $30,000 territory is also the third cheapest 3-row SUV for sale. The 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe, going for about $36,400 for a base SC. There's a 3-row Hyundai you can get when you don't need luxury, size, or payments of the Palisade. That to say isn't a nice vehicle in its own right. Radically reworked back in 2024, the current Santa Fe rocks a very boxy, very Land Rover type design. It has a 1.6 liter hybrid available, with a standard 2 liter turbocharged 4, which, I don't know, it's still a lot of strain to put on a 4-banger. They say it's a solid item. If a little anemic to the drive, the Santa Fe's value proposition mostly comes from the 3 rows of seats for a two-row price, which, yeah, I can't agree with that. You have the Kia Sorento, which, God, that looks bland. I swear car companies get silver paint for free. They say, in a similar way to the Kia platform Mate, the 2026 Kia Sorento starts at $33,635 for the base LX, making it the second cheapest 3-row SUV you can get new. Like the Santa Fe, the Sorento is available as a hybrid or gas-only model, but unlike the Hyundai, there's also a plug-in hybrid model here in the US that starts at $50K. This generation Sorento has been around since 2020, but a 2024 facelift gave it a new look, modernized look inside and out. Says it'll be far from the most exciting thing you drive, but if you're looking for slots of seats and lots of tech for the money, the Sorento deserves your attention, which, debatably. And of course, you had number one, which I wouldn't recommend anyone buying. Mitsubishi Outlander, which people keep forgetting. Mitsubishi, yeah, they're still somehow in business. Despite all odds and making mostly bland, boring vehicles, they are still around. Though longer are the days where they were some of the greatest cars. The Lancer Evo, the Eclipse. I mean, the Fast and Furious really propelled some of those vehicles to popularity. And in terms of pop culture, every time I hear Mitsubishi, let me know if you think differently or if you don't think of this. I always think of the King of the Hill, where Cotton, Hank's dad, saw Mitsubishi. He's trying to sell him a canoe, and he refused to sell him the canoe to the Mitsubishi guy because he sees the Mitsubishi. And in the TV show, Hank Hill's dad was a World War II veteran. He sees the Mitsubishi, goes, Mitsubishi, they made the planes at Bomb Pearl Harbor, which technically they did. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries used to encompass many divisions, including automobile and including airplanes, which, yeah, in World War II, yeah, they did. Now, this starts at $31,140. They say the undisputed king of 3-row affordability, however, is a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander with a scarcely believable starting price of $31,140 for a base front drive ES, including destination. It's 7-seater, got a solo update for the year, even more refinement with Yamaha audio. I haven't heard that name bragged about in a while in terms of like a car audio system. They have great exhaust, though. Now they say, quote, don't let the often forgotten badge and bargain basement price fool you. This is a certifiable, well-conceived crossover. It's not. This general user interface and driving experience both feel as though they're real, though been put in them, and available SAWC all-wheel drive system packs a serious pedigree. The cheapest 3-row SUV on the market is a massively underrated car, and even rarer these days, a genuine value play, which, again, I'll give them kudos in terms of engineering something to a price point that is really aggressive and still somehow making a profit. But again, it's also a Mitsubishi. This is one of those things where, they're not nearly as bad as Nissan in terms of global presence and, possible viability, going out of business sometime soon. But, I mean, this is one of those things where you got to think, just save a little bit more and get a more reliable vehicle. Just get yourself a Honda or Toyota. If you need to get an SUV, that'll last you, 200, 300, 400,000 miles. Again, I would love to win the lottery and buy a now vintage Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Those things are awesome. The engineering, the quality were amazing. But again, if you need an SUV, I wouldn't get a Mitsubishi Outlander. They just do not have the reliability. There's this whole list. I find it obviously boring as hell, but I know they're very popular. People love them, so I thought I'd do a review for y'all. I stay away from Ford the most with all of their recalls. If I had to choose, and I don't want to. Well, actually, trick question. If I had to choose, not reliability. I just was joking about Mitsubishi. Porsche does have slightly better reliability than Mitsubishi. I'd get a used Porsche Cayenne GTS with a stick shift and V8. They're hard to find. You gotta search for them like a diamond in the rough. And even used with 100,000 miles, they go for like 40 grand. Again, if I get SUV, you know me, I gotta have my 3 pedals. That's how, I know it's kind of cheating, saying I just get by used for the same price, but let me know your thoughts, which one to at least choose, because I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.